At Levi's Stadium, it's week 15 of the NFL on CBS. Today, the 8-5 Titans take on Jimmy Garoppolo and the 49ers. And today's game is being broadcast in Spanish where available using the SAP button on your television. The Titans won the toss. They have elected to defer. So Garoppolo in his first home start as 49ers quarterback will get the football first. Ryan Succop to kick it away. And back deep for the 49ers is the rookie Matt Breida. Not a cloud in the sky, but the wind should be a factor today. A very breezy day in Santa Clara. We're underway, week 15 of the NFL on CBS. Breida from his own 5-yard line. And he is tackled at the 16. So out comes Jimmy Garoppolo, making his third start with San Francisco, first at home. Last week in the win over the Texans, 334 yards, that's a career high, and 627 yards in his first 2 starts with San Francisco, the most ever by a 49ers quarterback in his first 2 starts. Zane Beadle starts at right tackle. Trent Brown put on IR earlier this week. And Marquise Goodwin coming off his second 100-yard receiving game of the season in the win last Sunday against the Texans. Here's Carlos Hyde on first down, and the 49ers running back gets 2 yards. A look at the Titans starting lineup on defense. Jurrell Casey had 2 sacks last week in the loss against the Arizona Cardinals. Brian Orakpo, he's got a sack in back-to-back games, looking to make it 3 in a row. And Jonathan Cyprien is starting at safety today. He was questionable with a back injury that he suffered in practice on Wednesday. Dick LeBeau and the Tennessee Titans were not overly optimistic that he would be able to go, but he's out there. On his second down and 8, Garoppolo to the air, and the pass is caught by Kyle Juszczyk and knocked out of bounds. It's good for a San Francisco first down. Just underway here, first quarter, Tennessee 8-5, taking on Jimmy Garoppolo and the 49ers alongside Hall of Famer James Lofton. I'm Andrew Catalon. It's a windy day here in Santa Clara, but a beautiful day. Not a cloud in the sky as Jimmy Garoppolo tries to win his 3rd consecutive start. One of 4 active quarterbacks to win his first 4 career starts. The only other active quarterback to win his first 5, Ben Roethlisberger of the Steelers. And we have a stoppage before this 1st and 10 play.
A little hiccup going on with the 49ers. The last 2 plays, Jimmy Garoppolo has had to come to the sideline because he hasn't been able to get the quarterback to coach communication going through the helmet system.
So San Francisco uses an early timeout, gives us a chance to take a look at the updated playoff picture in the AFC. You see the Titans at 8-5. Right now the number 5 seed in the AFC playoffs. They can still win the division, even though earlier today Jacksonville clinched a playoff berth. But if the Titans win out, they are AFC South champions. As Mike Mularkey told us, they're just going to take it one game at a time, trying to bounce back from the loss a week ago in Arizona. Following the San Francisco timeout, first down and 10. They hand it off to Marquise Goodwin. Goodwin trying to get around the edge. He does, has great speed, and out of bounds right around the first down marker. 3rd carry this season for Marquise Goodwin. It goes for 10 yards.
Not only does he have great speed, but he has seamless speed because there's never any additional effort level that it takes for him to go from 0 to 100. He was going about 50 miles an hour and didn't even have to step on the gas. Maybe he's one of those electric vehicles that are so popular here in the Silicon Valley.
Ran a 4.2740 at the NFL Combine, 5th fastest ever by a wide receiver. Here's Hyde up the middle. He's got some room and takes the ball out to the 45-yard line. Nice running by Carlos Hyde. Avery Williamson makes the tackle, but not before Hyde picks up 8 yards. See the beautiful day here in Santa Clara. The wind right now 5 to 10 miles per hour, but it's been gusting up throughout the course of the day. As Garoppolo goes to the air, completes it to Hyde, and Hyde has a San Francisco first down. Carlos Hyde and LaShawn McCoy, the only 2 players in the NFL to lead their team in both carries and receptions.
You know, when you think about this game, you think about Derrick Henry and DeMarco Murray. Carlos Hyde is the leading ground gainer in this game. He's almost kind of like a little bit of an afterthought.
Garoppolo completes it to Aldrick Robinson. So Garoppolo has started 3 for 3. Adoree Jackson on the stop, a gain of 3.
You mentioned the wind that can gust up during the course of this ball game. One of the things that you like from quarterbacks is if they can throw a tight spiral in the wind. You see that wind, because if it starts to flutter a little bit, then it looks like, you know, Lou, our spotter, the way he throws the ball sometimes when we're playing catch in the parking lot, very ugly.
It's ugly for sure, James. 2nd down and 7. It's Breida on the carry. And he'll bring up 3rd down. Well, it's been 10 straight games that the 49ers have failed to score a touchdown in the first quarter. The last time they scored a first quarter touchdown was week 3 against the Rams. But this is an impressive drive to begin the game here in week 15 against the Titans. They're set up with 3rd down and 5 from the Tennessee 42.
And one of the go-to guys has been Trent Taylor, the young rookie. 22 receptions already on 3rd down for Trent Taylor, so you've got to find out where he is. Logan Ryan is covering him up right now.
Garoppolo in trouble, trying to wiggle out of it, throws, and it's caught by Taylor. Another 3rd down reception for Trent Taylor. This one's good for 12 and a 1st down.
One of the things that we heard when we talked to the Tennessee Titans is Garoppolo is not a scrambler. He's a pocket mover. We're watching the wide receiver do all of the things that he has to do to stay alive, because he knows that Jimmy Garoppolo wants to throw that ball down the field. Can he run? Yes, he can run. But more importantly, he moves in the pocket to throw the football.
Garoppolo 4 out of 4 on this opening drive. Pressure coming, and he's sacked. Avery Williamson brings him down. 3rd sack of the year for Williamson.
Dick LeBeau can scheme it up. He can get free rushers. 11 different Titans have had a sack. So if you're an offensive lineman and you're trying to figure out where the pressure's coming from, it's coming from everywhere. And sometimes you don't have enough fingers to put in the dike to stop the flow of water. You look at 23 sacks. They've been phenomenal the last couple weeks. 20 sacks prior to this week in the last 3 ball games alone.
That's a franchise record for Tennessee. Garoppolo looking deep for Goodwin, a little bit too high and incomplete. Kevin Byard, the safety, was back deep, and it's 3rd down. First incompletion today for Garoppolo.
It almost appeared that Jimmy Garoppolo took too deep of a drop. He needs to anticipate that throw. He knows it's too deep. There's a corner short, a safety deep. He's got to drop it in right over the corner, who's dropping back and in front of the safety. Just a little late on that throw. You saw Marquise Goodwin running out of space along the sideline.
11th play of the drive. It's 3rd and 18. San Francisco 26th in the NFL on 3rd downs this year. Pressure coming again. Garoppolo throws and completes it to Selleck, who's tackled a yard shy of a 1st down.
Or decision-making time for Kyle Shanahan. He talks about how aggressive of a play caller he is right now. The field goal unit started to jog on the field. He waved them off. Now he's waving them back. Well, and it's because it's about a yard and a half, which right there at that area, and he's saying maybe we should just take the points. We've got the wind at our back. We kick off. We'll get them in a hole. You've got to, as an offensive coordinator, he wants to go for it, but the head coach in him is going, take the 3-point opportunity.
That's what Shanahan decides to do. A 38-yard field goal attempt for Robbie Gould, who's made 14 in a row. The longest active streak, make it 15. And an impressive drive to start the game by the Niners results in 3 points. Jimmy Garoppolo, 5 out of 6 for 49 yards on that opening drive for San Francisco. It culminated by a Robbie Gould 38-yard field goal. Gives the Niners a 3-0 lead. With the punter, Bradley Pinion, set to kick it away. Adoree Jackson back deep for the Tennessee Titans. Good, strong kick by Pinion. It'll be a touchback, and Marcus Mariota And the Titans will get the ball at the 25-yard line. Mariota, tough game last week down in Arizona. 2 interceptions, both in the second half. And he's thrown for fewer than 200 passing yards in 3 straight games. Told us when we met with him last night he has to play better. And the entire Titans offense told us they need to play better. It's been a tough go. Taylor Lewan doing okay after suffering a back injury last week. He starts at left tackle. And Delaney Walker, who spent 7 seasons here with the 49ers, playing his first game in Levi's Stadium. On first down, Mariota to the air. And nowhere to go. He's brought down. And it was his former teammate at Oregon, DeForest Buckner, now with 3.5 sacks on the year.
You would think that Marcus Mariota would have just burst out of the pocket. It's that hesitation, that indecision, because when he was at the University of Oregon, we saw him run. We saw him use those legs. He's been nicked up, banged up. Maybe that's the reason he wanted to sit in the pocket after that play-action fake.
They give half a sack to Buckner and half to Tank Carradine. A loss of 3 on the play. On second down, it's a handoff to DeMarco Murray, and he's met behind the line of scrimmage by this charged-up 49ers defense out of the gate. Let's take a closer look at the San Francisco defense. You already saw DeForest Buckner, native of Hawaii, played against Mariota in high school and then teammates together at Oregon. Reuben Foster leads all rookies in tackles per game this season. And Ahkello Witherspoon was questionable with a sprained knee. He's able to go, but Greg Mabin is inactive today because of a calf injury. 3rd down and 12 for Tennessee. Good protection. Mariota dumps it down to Murray, and Murray is tackled by K'Wan Williams. Back to New York, an NFL Today update with Phil Simms.
All right, let's go out to Pittsburgh and see Tom Brady play action fake, gets extra time, finds Brandon Cooks down the field for 43 yards. That led to a Rex Burkhead 1-yard touchdown run. New England 7, Pittsburgh nothing. Back to Andrew and the speedy James Lofton.
Ooh, wow, I like that, Phil.
Patriots clinch the AFC East with a win. They're off to a good start against Pittsburgh. This is Trent Taylor on the return from his own 21-yard line. And he's tripped up just shy of the 35. 6:38 to go, first quarter. 3-0 San Francisco.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. Acura's Season Up Performance Event. And by Macy's.
Friday night, our fantastic NFL on CBS crew had a little holiday get-together at Bolero. Great bowling spot here in San Jose. Our audio master, Pat Thornton, rolled the high game of the night with 148.
There's been no confusion with the PBA Tour, though.
No, not at all. How about Jimmy Garoppolo, growing up just outside of Chicago? Basketball for a while. Started out of defense at Rolling Meadows High School, and they moved him to quarterback. That was a good idea when they did that.
And he had number 10 on in that footage there. A lot of mud on that field there.
There's Jimmy's parents who are in the house for their son's first start at home as 49ers quarterback, and on the first drive he went 5 out of 6 for 49 yards. They'll start this drive at the 32-yard line. And it's Carlos Hyde on the carry. And Hyde with some nice running into this Tennessee defense. Well, Jimmy Garoppolo, last 2 games, look what San Francisco has done, just 1 3-and-out.
That's big yardage.
Scoring on 52% of their drives and going no huddle here on second down. And it's complete to Marquise Goodwin into Tennessee territory. Adoree Jackson on the stop, but a 16-yard pickup for Goodwin.
I love what Kyle Shanahan said about Goodwin. He had been with the Buffalo Bills, a world-class long jumper, made the Olympic team, but he had never been a starting receiver, and he's getting a chance to be a starting receiver and believe that he's a starting receiver.
Goodwin again. And Kevin Byard makes the tackle, but they've been going to Goodwin early and often, both through the air and on the ground.
And when we talked to Byard, he said, we acknowledge that he's their #1 receiver, and we have to find him on every snap because he has that game-breaking speed. We saw it on the jet sweep, and then evident the last 2 catches.
Play fake, Garoppolo rolling right, and that pass is incomplete. He was trying to squeeze it into Aldrick Robinson. And the second incompletion today for Garoppolo, and now there's an injured 49er, and that is Robinson, who was attempting to make that play, still down on the ground. Fifth-year receiver out of SMU in his first season with the 49ers. We'll step aside, come back in a moment. Good news just a moment ago. Aldrick Robinson stood up, received an ovation here from the fans at Levi Stadium. Let's take another look at what happened.
Andrew, there are collisions that you have with other players, but when you're running full speed and you hit the ground doesn't move. It's not flexible at all. And then Adoree Jackson kind of piles over the top of him. So that's a big collision right there. You know, sometimes you have those collisions and you sit up and you're seeing stars. They will take them off the field and check them, of course.
How about the confidence that Kyle Shanahan and Jimmy Garoppolo have developed these last couple of weeks, James? We've seen them go no huddle a bunch of times today.
Yeah, there's a lot of growth between coach, play caller, Garoppolo, the quarterback, being on the same page and understanding what they're seeing on the field.
Keep this one on the ground with Breida. And Matt Breida to the 29. It'll be 3rd down and short.
You know, you mentioned about Carlos Hyde leading the team in rushing and receiving, and you know, you held him out on that 2nd down play, kind of knowing that we'd like him in on 3rd down because he's a little stouter of a pass protector in the backfield, but we can also use him to get out in a route. One of the things that those Tennessee Titans love to do is they love to confuse you at the line of scrimmage, where they can use the outside men as rushes or in coverage against the running back.
3rd down and 4. Garoppolo out of the shotgun. His pass is deflected at the line of scrimmage and incomplete. 4th down, and out comes the kicker, Robbie Gould.
Almost a little bit tentative throwing this ball, kind of trying to touch it in there. There were 2 defenders there in the area, and when they get to the sideline, he'll look at all the tablets and all the pictures, and you know, Kyle Shanahan would say, well, why did you go here? And if he can give him the right answer, say, okay, that's good, but maybe you should have looked on the other side that time.
Jarrell Casey knocked that pass down. So here's Gould from 48 yards away. Kick on the way, and it's good again. Robbie Gould, since being cut by the Bears, is 42 of 44 on field goals.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Jumanji. Welcome to the jungle, in theaters this Christmas.
49ers looking for their 3rd straight win, something they have not done since November of 2014. A couple of Robbie Gould field goals have given the Niners a 6-0 lead. Adoree Jackson back deep to receive the kickoff from Bradley Pinion. 4:35 to go in the opening quarter. Big game for Tennessee in the AFC playoff picture, currently the number 5 seed. Well, Tuesday night here at Levi Stadium, the 49ers held their 2nd annual Convoy of Hope Holiday Resource Fair for families in need. Attendees received clothing, groceries, toys, holiday gifts, and even haircuts. C.J. Beathard, Matt Breida, Robbie Gould were among the 49ers players helping out. So 2nd drive for Tennessee. They've got a grand total of 2 yards so far, going 3 and out on their opening possession.
I hope the players for the Titans have been stretching on the sidelines because they haven't done a lot of work in the last 45 minutes since they left the field from pregame warmups.
DeMarco Murray, the running back, 1st down and 10. Luke Stocker in at fullback on this play, and Murray follows his block and takes it out for a 9-yard gain. We go back to New York, an NFL Today update with JB and Phil Simms.
A 69-yard answer by the Steelers.
Yeah, we got us a good game going here. Ben Roethlisberger to Eli Rogers, 18 yards for the score. Both quarterbacks, Brady, Roethlisberger starting out hot. New England 7, Pittsburgh 7.
8 plays, 69 yards. Back to Andrew and James.
All right, guys, the Steelers clinch a first-round bye if they beat the Patriots today. 2nd down and 1 after the 9-yard pickup by Murray. They go right back to him, and he's got a first down. We met with DeMarco Murray yesterday, and he said early in the season he really had to adjust to sharing more of the load with Derrick Henry, but he said that now, this late in the season, it's the freshest he's felt for a Week 15 game. A good sign for the Titans.
Exactly right, and not only fresh on Sundays, but fresh during the week when you sharpen yourself a little bit. So he's able to practice. Before, he'd have a heavy load on Sunday and might return to practice on Thursday a little bit or on Friday, but now he can practice during the week.
Last year he averaged 18 carries per game. This season 12 carries per game from Murray as he takes another handoff. That's his 4th carry of the opening quarter, and he picks up 4 yards.
Now it's interesting, you see all the running backs talk about the feed me motion. I saw Taylor Lewan get up after that play, and he was doing the spoon to the mouth. He didn't need more cereal, but hey, let's keep running the ball.
Henry watching from the sideline on 2nd down and 6. Mariota completes it to Corey Davis, and he is tackled by Dante Johnson, a yard shy of a first down. Excuse me, that was Jonnu Smith on the catch.
Big tight end, catch, throw. You know, I don't even know if you get to mold that ball into your hand, if you get the laces the way you want. You've just got to be able to get that ball out as quickly as possible.
So 3rd down and 1. Henry comes in. Jumbo package for the Titans. Stocker as the fullback. It's Henry, and he's got the first down. All 6'3", 247 pounds. Derrick Henry moves the chains inside 2 minutes to go in the opening quarter.
So that's Derrick Henry's first touch during the course of this game. And when you think about having to touch it for the first time on a critical 3rd and short, well, running backs just turn around and hand me the ball. That's what they want. And these guys would both love to have the ball 15, 20 times each in this ball game.
Henry lined up at the top of your screen. Empty backfield for Mariota. Mariota throws, dangerous pass is incomplete. Ahkello Witherspoon had a good break on it. Now before the game, Eric Reed, Eli Harold, Marquise Goodwin, Lewis Murphy continuing to take a knee during the national anthem, and as Rashard Matthews of the Titans has done for the entire season, he stays in the locker room during the anthem. Rashard Matthews, former college teammates with old 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick. They both played together at Nevada. Here's Taywan Taylor, and Taylor gets to the 43-yard line. 7th carry this season for the rookie wideout out of Western Kentucky.
And a nice positive way to get a young player involved in the game with his hands on the ball. You know, sometimes you can run this and you can actually pitch it forward where it's a reception. So if I'm Taywan Taylor, I'm going, let's do it where he's back in the gun and he pitches it forward so I get another catch instead of a carry.
Last time on 3rd and 1, they went to Henry. This time it's 3rd and 2, 8th play of the drive.
You got both running backs back there.
Mariota throwing, and it's caught by Matthews. He's got the first down and more. Rashard Matthews still going inside the 25-yard line, and finally San Francisco brings him down. A gain of 21 for Matthews.
You know, you crossed them up defensively with a little bit of eye candy, putting both running backs in the backfield. So everybody has their eyes on the backfield. Quick toss to Matthews, who is a big physical receiver, 6 feet, 217 pounds. He's powerful.
He had a season low 19 yards receiving last week, 21 on that play. That's the end of the first quarter, 6-0 San Francisco. Start of the second quarter at Levi Stadium. The 49ers have a 6-0 lead. Their receiver, Aldrick Robinson, is questionable to return after suffering both a head and wrist injury on that play in the first quarter. Now 11 straight games the 49ers have failed to score a first quarter touchdown. But they do have the lead. Tennessee, though, putting together a nice drive. They'll start this quarter at the San Francisco 23-yard line. First down and 10. Mariota under center. Looking to throw on first down. Lofting one to Walker in the end zone, and it's incomplete. Eric Reed got a hand on that one for the 49ers, and it's second down.
Now, I'm hoping you're right there, because if not, that ball looked like it went straight through the hands. Oh, it almost looked like he short-armed the ball a little bit. Going
you're
from
right.
into the shadows, and, you know, Delaney Walker's probably thinking, yeah, I'm going to score a touchdown against my former team, and here it is. Then it's off his fingertips.
Opportunity there for Tennessee. Instead, it's second and 10. They hand it off. A big hit to Marco Murray. Meet Reuben Foster, the rookie out of Alabama, with a big stick on the veteran Murray. And now Foster's a little shaken up.
I think he was a little high when he hit him, and DeMarco Murray actually got his pads lower. And so you can see he knocked the helmet back of Reuben Foster. Big collision. Drives him back. Got up, twisting his shoulder around just a little bit. I wouldn't expect him to be out too long.
Did miss 6 games this year because of ankle and rib issues. What an exciting player he's been for John Lynch, who drafted him in the first round.
That was a John Lynch type collision there. John Lynch was a point A to point B tackle. And if you were in the middle of point A and point B, you were in trouble.
So Foster goes into the blue medical tent for further examination. Meanwhile, Tennessee has third down and 10. Delaney Walker in motion.
Eric Reed followed him, so it's man-to-man matchup between Walker and Reed.
Tennessee 2 for 2 on this drive on third downs. Mariota looking to convert, again incomplete. Not on the same page there with Delaney Walker. And out comes the kicker, Ryan Succop.
That's a ball that should be easily completed. You had some great separation. Delaney Walker actually pushed off a little bit, but he had enough separation, and that ball should have been thrown out in front. Couldn't tell when Delaney Walker turned to try and catch it. He's looking back into a little bit of the sun and a little bit of glare, but Mariota just off target.
So Succop comes out to attempt a 40-yard field goal. He was 0 for 1 last week in Arizona. It was a 58-yarder that hit the crossbar. This to put Tennessee on the board early in the second quarter. Kick on the way, and it is good. So the drive by the Titans results in 3 points. We'll be back in 30 seconds after this from Lowe's. Reuben Foster out of the blue medical tent. We'll see if he's able to return. Good sign he's still got his helmet on. Marcus Mariota leads the Titans to a field goal. It's been a tough go for the Titans offensively. Last week, just 204 yards of offense, 62 in the second half. When we met with Mike Mularkey last night, he said really the running game got all messed up because of the Mariota injury, the Taylor Lewan injury, and then the Philip Supernaw injury. They lost their fullback for a time, so they were all out of sorts, hoping to get back on the same page today as Brito's on the return. And a nice job by the rookie out of Georgia Southern. There is a flag down. Have not had a penalty yet today. Our referee is John Parry. It's a 30-yard return if it stands.
During the return, holding return team number 47. 10-yard penalty, 1st and 10.
It's on Elijah Lee. Saturday, it's the CBS Sports Classic featuring perennial powerhouses who together have won 26 national titles. Ohio State takes on 7th-ranked North Carolina, and UCLA collides with 8th-ranked Kentucky. The day tips off with Inside College Basketball at 1 Eastern on CBS. So the penalty moves the ball back to the 15-yard line for Garoppolo and the 49ers. Garoppolo has begun the game 7 out of 10 for 76 yards. Had a slow first quarter last week in the win over Houston. 3 out of 7 for 25 yards and an interception. Play fake on first down. Garoppolo fires to Goodwin, and Goodwin makes the catch at the 33-yard line. Already the third grab today by Goodwin, this one for 18 yards.
I would think that they would maybe get up to the line and try and get this snap quickly. Nice route by Goodwin. Cradles those hands below the ball. Both officials came in quickly, said he caught it. You can see those hands get up under that ball. So that's a nice job by Marquise.
Already 45 yards receiving for Goodwin. It's a pitch to Carlos Hyde, and flying into the backfield is Kevin Dodd. The second-year linebacker out of Clemson makes a nice play, a loss of 3.
This is supposed to be a team, the Tennessee Titans, that runs the ball, and they stop the run really well. They're 5th in the NFL against the run. You can see evidence of it on that play. A lot of people up near the line of scrimmage. And with Dick LeBeau, you always talk about the blitzing that they do. There's a lot of run blitzes that they do where they're just shooting past people, not just standing there waiting for you to come to them.
Dick LeBeau, his 59th year in the NFL as both a player and a coach. Second down and 13. Garoppolo incomplete, was looking for Juszczyk. So off the mark that time, but early on, Garoppolo has been dialed in. He's 8 out of 12.
He's been really sharp. He's been able to move in the pocket. Has what he's seeing the field really well. That last throw was almost a little bit of a throwaway because it was a play I think they thought they were really going to fool the Titans on. Didn't fool them completely. And you don't want to hold the ball in the pocket looking for the second, the third, the fourth receiver, because that's when you take a lot of sacks.
Third down and long for San Francisco. Titans showing pressure. Here it comes. Garoppolo throwing sideline, incomplete, but a flag is down. Pass was intended for Goodwin. The flag is down in the middle of the field.
You had holding on Trent Taylor. He was shaking and baking. He was going up against Bryce McCain.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense, number 23, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
It is on Bryce McCain and gives San Francisco a first down.
When you're covering an outside receiver, you kind of have the sideline as your friend. But when you're covering the slot receiver, and that slot receiver has a two-way go, and he gives you a move one way, and you jump that way, and he goes the opposite way, you do tend to reach out and grab him to try and bring him back to you a little bit, and that's what Bryce McCain did there.
Garoppolo, what a catch made by Kendrick Bourne. Another San Francisco first down, but there is a flag down.
Well, Daniel Kilgore no longer has his helmet on, so that might have been hands to the face by the defense. They put adjusting his lid.
Illegal use of hands. Hands to the face. Defense, number 96. 5-yard penalties declined. Result of the play, first down.
I always think that the official is going to tag it on and say, hands to the face. You should have seen it. He puts his face mask right off. We had to call it. And that's a nice snag on the other end there. See right there on the right-hand side, and there goes the helmet. Lucky that head isn't attached even tighter to the helmet because that would really hurt.
Garoppolo has already connected with 7 different receivers in the first half. Last week in the game against Houston, he hit on with 8 different players. So spreading the wealth here as the 49ers quarterback. Breida is dragged down, and we're going to go back to New York. An NFL Today update with JB and Phil Simms.
Rams trying to run away from Seattle.
Yeah, they are. Another 1-yard touchdown run by Todd Gurley, his second of the day. Both set up by Farrell Cooper Long. Punt returns. L.A. Rams 20, Seattle nothing.
Andrew Catalan, James Lofton.
Who would have thunk it back in August?
And next week, the Titans return home to take on the Rams. Difficult finish for Tennessee as they host both the Rams and the Jaguars in weeks 16 and 17. Garoppolo throws one up, and it's a fight for the ball, and it's a catch by Goodwin.
Well, you used to always say that tie goes to the offense. That one looked like it was about 60-40 for the defense, but Marquise Goodwin is not going to give up while they're on the ground. They're both kind of fighting and interlocked, and
Eric Walden,
already pointed.
Yeah, Eric Walden and Goodwin went up for that one. It looked like Walden initially came away with it, but they signaled that it's Goodwin's football.
Goodwin does a good job kind of fighting back for it. Eric Walden, who has 2 career interceptions, not bad for a guy who's a sack artist. You see, while they're on the ground, I have on a white uniform, I'm thinking. And Burita was the running back in there. Remember I talked about Carlos Hyde being a better pass protector? Burita got run over, and then Garoppolo got knocked over.
Mike Mularkey debating throwing the challenge flag here. And he did throw it, so Mularkey will challenge the play.
Challenged previous ruling on the field.
Now what's interesting, if it had been intercepted, Kyle Shanahan would not have been able to throw the challenge flag because it would have been a turnover, which are instantly reviewed. But Mike Mularkey, since his guy didn't get it, he wants the challenge to see if they can get it. See the hands, and right there, it looks like a little bit of 50-50. Maybe, like you said, when you're on the Tennessee Titans sideline, you think my guy has it 60%, not 40%, and it's such a close call that once it goes toward the offense, I can't really see this play being overturned.
Mike Mularkey yet to win a challenge this season, 0 for 2, one of 4 teams without a successful challenge this year.
I love Wesley Woodyard in there trying to play official.
We did talk to Kevin Byard last night, and he said in looking at the film of Garoppolo, a lot of passes that he thought he threw in the last 2 weeks, that balls that should have been intercepted, that he got away with. And Byard thought the Titans would have some opportunities to come away with interceptions against Garoppolo, and that was a good opportunity right there.
Well, and that ball, it was the pressure, it was the hit on Garoppolo that caused that ball to go up in the air and flutter a little bit. And I've got to give it to Marquise Goodwin, who was a long jump champion. You can see the vertical jump that he has, the explosiveness going back for the ball. So great job by Goodwin making a play on the ball.
After reviewing the play, the rule in the field stands as called. Completed catch. Tennessee is charged at the timeout. Game clock will start on the snap.
You remember when you were a kid at the park and tie goes to the runner and all that stuff. Tie goes to the offense.
A tough one to overturn.
Yeah.
As you said, if it was ruled an interception on the field, it probably would have stayed that way. In this case, it was ruled a catch, and Mularkey loses the challenge and a timeout in the process. Marquise Goodwin already has 4 catches for 55 yards. His 6th straight game of at least 50 yards receiving. And it's Carlos Hyde with a short gain on the play. Back to New York. NFL Today update with JB and Phil Simms.
Potentially a big blow for the Steelers.
It is Ben Roethlisberger throwing into the end zone for Antonio Brown. And what we have is a lower leg injury to one of the biggest stars in the NFL, MVP candidate Antonio Brown.
Back to Andrew and James.
Wow. Critical injury right there for the Steelers. Hopefully Antonio Brown will be okay. Back in our game, 10:42 to go in the first half. It's 2nd down and 12. Garoppolo on the slant, caught by Bourne, cuts back the other way, and he's spun down, but a first down for San Francisco. Ryan and Byard on the tackle.
When you look at the roster of wide receivers for the 49ers, like Byard said, okay, Marquise Goodwin, and then a bunch of other guys. And sometimes when you have a bunch of other guys, you don't have enough film to study them to see what they do really well. That's a really quick move by Bourne.
And right back to Bourne on first down. Logan Ryan on the coverage. But Garoppolo has a good little rhythm going here for the 49ers.
Well, he is such a calm character in the pocket. We asked head coach Kyle Shanahan, who does he remind you of all the guys that you've worked with? And, we're waiting to see some glamorous name. But he said Matt Schaub, who he had worked with the Houston Texans. He said he's calm like he is. Some guys are real fiery. He's real calm when he's in the pocket.
Yeah, he said that Garoppolo on game day is very relaxed, and that's the comparison he drew with Shaw. There's Carlos Hyde met at the line of scrimmage, and not much there for San Francisco against this Tennessee run defense, which is third in the NFL in yards per carry allowed, just 3.6 on the year under Dick LeBeau.
And there's been such a fast flow on these run plays. You're sitting at home, you're going, why don't you bootleg? Maybe try that, get out of the pocket, because those guys on the outside are really crashing down. Eric Walden, Brian Arakpo, they're chasing those runs from the backside, and you have to think that at some point, Kyle Shanahan's going to look at these images and say, okay, we can bootleg.
Third down and 4. Garoppolo caught for a first down. It's the tight end George Kittle, who has at least one catch in every game this season.
You hear people talk about, well, he can make all the throws. There's a decisiveness when Jimmy Garoppolo throws the ball, and there's also an accuracy, but I don't think that he tries to throw the ball so hard that it becomes uncatchable.
More no huddle for the 49ers, 1st and 10. Garoppolo looking end zone, and it's incomplete. Kittle, the closest 49er to the football.
Well, you had Marquise Goodwin, who's trying to work his way to the post, and the corner over there did a nice job in not letting him inside, so Kittle couldn't get back outside to the corner. So you had a real simple combination of a post on top and a corner by the tight end on the bottom, but they couldn't get through the mesh point.
See another long drive here by the 49ers. This will be the 13th play. Time of possession the last 2 games with Garoppolo as starter, the 2 best in terms of time of possession all season for the 49ers. They've done a great job of working the clock. He goes to Taylor here. Taylor at the 15, and Taylor is tackled at the 14-yard line. A gain of 4, it's 3rd down. Good block by Laken Tomlinson.
With all the plays that coordinators have on their play sheets, it's still about players. So you get down in the red zone and you go, which players do we want to get the ball to? Who gives us that size advantage or that quickness advantage? And you obviously have, in Marquise Goodwin, you have a great quickness advantage, but neither he nor Trent Taylor, who are lined up on the same side together, are very big players.
3rd down and 6. Kyle Shanahan running on the field to call timeout. He told us he's not going to be afraid to call timeouts, with Garoppolo still learning the offense as they go. We'll be back after this from FedEx. 6-3, San Francisco leads Tennessee with 7:39 to go in the first half. San Francisco now with just 1 timeout remaining the rest of the half. On this drive, Garoppolo is 7 out of 9 for 70 yards. The entire game, Mariota's 3 for 6 for 30 yards. His parents, Denise and Tony, watching, making the trip from just outside Chicago for Garoppolo's first home start as 49ers quarterback. Here comes the pressure. Garoppolo throws, completes it to Juszczyk, and Juszczyk is tripped up by Woodyard. And they're going to mark it right near the chains. If anything, a half-yard shy of a first down.
If you're a fullback,
now it's a first down,
and you're playing in the NFL, you puff your chest out if you get 2 or 3 carries during this season, and if you get about 5 or 6 receptions. Well, Juszczyk, that's his 23rd reception of the year. And Pro Bowl voting just came out the other day. Juszczyk, maybe because his name is tough to spell, people penciled him in. He's the top fullback in the league because he's versatile.
Carlos Hyde on 1st and goal, season opening down near the goal line. And he's down at the 1. 6-yard pickup for Hyde. It's 2nd and goal.
You know, sometimes when you have linemen who are playing out of position, and you've got Zane Beadles who's playing the right tackle, he's in for Trent Brown, you say to yourself as a staff, okay, what does he do well? What things does he excel at doing that he did at guard that we can incorporate a little bit of tackle? That time running away, he does a nice job cutting off the backside.
2nd and goal. Hyde. And he is spun down by Avery Williamson.
Great run through by Williamson.
Another great play by the 4th-year man out of Kentucky.
Instantaneous. We talked about running backs reading the holes. Well, those linebackers, they're reading the offensive lineman. They're reading how much pressure they have on their hand when they're in that three-point stance. And when they see that hand kind of trembling and on the grass, they know, oh, this has got to be a run. So as soon as that ball snapped, Williamson taking off, shooting through the gap, putting the 49ers back in a situation where they now looks like they have to pass the ball. And Marquise Goodwin, the wide receiver, in the backfield next to Jimmy Garoppolo.
Garoppolo, nowhere to go. Rolling right, pointing to the end zone. Throws, caught, touchdown! Selleck time! 4th touchdown this season for Garrett Selleck.
And in the holiday fashion, Trent Taylor wound him up like the little toy soldier. He went on a little march after that. It is so hard not to pull out the Joe Montana comparison every time you see Jimmy Garoppolo roll out and throw a touchdown. You saw it there. It's just a certain poise that people have in the vision to see it. Nice play by Jimmy G.
Garoppolo 9 of 11 for 82 yards on that drive. And Selleck now a career high 4 touchdowns on the season. It's 13-3. Jimmy G in control. Jimmy Garoppolo, the touchdown pass to Garrett Selleck. It's 13-3 in favor of the 49ers. As Pinion boots it away with Adoree Jackson back deep. It's a touchback. And we're going to go back to the touchdown pass from Garoppolo.
Sometimes it's a simple mental error that gets the defense because there's Garrett Selleck. So in motion, you should be coming with him. He just gets lost because there was going to be a pick, a little bit of a rub, and Jimmy Garoppolo, he's able to find him.
And his parents watching, the whole Jimmy G fan club in the house here at Levi's Stadium.
And they're not relegated to that small section either. There are a lot of number 10 jerseys being found around this stadium. Now, triple digits used to be run pass pattern, 638. Now it's a run.
It is DeMarco Murray on the carry, and he picks up 9 yards. Reuben Foster is out there for San Francisco, so that's a good sign. You saw him shaken up on the previous drive.
You heard that audible, but in the old Don Coryell digit system, those 3 digits, those are pass plays. Now they've advanced and changed it to a run call.
Back on the ground with Murray picking up the first down. So last Sunday, the Titans lost to the Cardinals. They stayed in Arizona for the whole week in preparation for today's game. When we met with Mike Mularkey last night, he said it was a very positive experience. Got a lot of good practice time together, a lot of good team bonding. They had team movie night, and he felt very good and confident about the experience of staying in Phoenix for the week. They practiced at Arizona State as Mariota completes that one to Walker, who lost the football. And the 49ers say they have it.
He got knocked backwards, then he got knocked forward, and since he was still moving forward, it's in play. Now, every play is reviewed, but because he's going forward and they're ripping at that ball, Brock Coyle got his hand in there, and it's a sinking feeling. You're headed toward the ground, and you want to get down, and that ball starts to get ripped loose, and it's going the opposite direction from the direction that you're going in, and it's the worst feeling as an offensive player.
Brock Coyle, as James mentioned, forced a fumble. Adrian Colbert, who forced a fumble last week, recovers it. All turnovers subject to review.
NFL on CBS is sponsored by Courtyard, Fairfield, 4 Points, and Spring Hill Suites. Straight Talk Wireless, best phones, best networks, no contracts. And by FedEx. Sign up for FedEx Delivery Manager.
Gorgeous day by the Bay, 4:27 to go. First half, 49ers lead 13-3, and that turnover was confirmed in replay. A lost fumble by Delaney Walker. It's San Francisco football as we go back to that touchdown, and you saw Jimmy Garoppolo pointing to his wrist like a watch, because the big phenomenon now is Selleck time. As Joe Staley explained it, as you see Jimmy, they're all pointing to their wristwatch. As Joe Staley said, you know, Selleck not known for being the most athletic guy, but he's been making some big plays the last few weeks. A 61-yarder last Sunday in Houston, so they've been all saying it's Selleck time now pointing to their watch. So they've got a good thing going here with Garoppolo at quarterback as Breida runs it to the 40-yard line. Kevin Byard on the tackle.
You know, if you're on the Tennessee Titans sideline, you're trying to get that rhythm, that feeling. You've fumbled the ball off of a short pass. You had the run game going a little bit before that. They just have not been on the field and been able to complete a drive. You had a ball that went off the hands of Delaney Walker for a touchdown, so a lot of frustration on that sideline. And they also know already today that Jacksonville took care of their business.
3rd down and 4. Pressure coming, Garoppolo throws, completes it to Taylor, and he's still going down the sideline. Finally knocked out of bounds, but on 3rd down, there's no question where Garoppolo's looking. It's Taylor, and it's 17 yards.
He has that ability to burst off the line of scrimmage in that little shake right there. And you always hear coaches and commentators talking about stick your foot in the ground. You stick your foot in the ground and you really get out of that break quickly, as opposed to rolling through it and allowing the defense to roll with you.
4th straight 3rd down conversion by San Francisco. And off to Hyde. Again, the Titans have done a good job bottling him up. Jarrell Casey on the tackle. Coming up, Verizon Halftime Report. JB, Phil, Nate, Boomer, and Coach Cower back in New York with all the latest scores and highlights, all coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. There's a timeout on the field with 2:26 to go in the second quarter. The last stoppage was a Tennessee timeout. They have one remaining, as do the 49ers. It's 2nd down and 11. Garoppolo throws off his back foot, incomplete. Was trying to connect with Logan Paulson, and it was Cyprien, who was questionable to play, bringing the pressure on Garoppolo.
When you play against Dick LeBeau, I just can't overemphasize the variety of people who are going to rush the passer. Now you say, well, strong safety blitz, that's common. But it's just part of their rush package. It wasn't blitz. They brought 4. Brian Orakpo, who you expect to rush, dropped back in coverage on the tight end, and the safety comes. So they spice it up. That's what LeBeau likes to do.
3rd down and 11 with Carlos Hyde at running back. They're bringing pressure again. Garoppolo fires, caught by Goodwin, trying to get away, and with that extra effort, Goodwin has the 1st down. Bryce McCain finally made the tackle. But the 49ers offense in a great groove here in the first half.
When you think of Marquise Goodwin, you think of deep speed, but that speed up the field, and then just that little step back toward the football, that's separation. And Jimmy standing amongst the pressure.
2-minute warning, San Francisco on the doorstep once again.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Tostitos. Tostitos gives back to Salvation Army. And by Forevermark. Discover the Forevermark Tribute Collection at forevermark.com.
So much of the 49ers' great history and tradition on display at Levi's Stadium. And this current team trying to start a new chapter of 49ers lore. Garoppolo, 1st and goal at the 2-minute warning. Hyde trying to spin away. And Hyde is tackled at the line of scrimmage inbounds. The clock continues to tick. Meanwhile, Garoppolo has targeted Marquise Goodwin 26 times since he became the starting quarterback. Goodwin's caught 19 of them. 73% of Garoppolo's targets to Goodwin have been brought in.
That might explain why he's dancing. Make me feel good too.
Tennessee just called its final timeout with 1:48 to play, and Delanie Walker's had a tough first half. Had that ball in the end zone that he could not bring in, and the fumble has resulted in this drive here by the 49ers. They have it 2nd and goal.
And Tennessee, when they get the ball back, they need kind of a jump start. You know, the battery is a little dead. Need somebody to get it going, and that really has to be Marcus Mariota. Marcus has to be the player that can get this offense going under any conditions and get them back in ball games.
Titans only had 72 yards of offense here in the first half. 2nd and goal. Garoppolo over the middle, incomplete. It was LaShawn Sims who got a hand on that one for the Titans to break up the pass.
Tight coverage. You can see the ball is being you try and throw it high. So if it goes off his hands, it goes out the end zone. And remember, that's just a 2nd down play. And one of the important things you always hear me talk about, just get us to the next down with the ball, so that Kyle Shanahan can go back to that big play sheet and call up another good one.
Goodwin at the top of your screen, matched up with Adoree Jackson. 3rd and goal. Garoppolo throws to the end zone, incomplete. Was trying to get it to Kendrick Bourne, but instead San Francisco will settle for a field goal attempt by Robbie Gould.
Now, that ball had "oh no" written all over it. As you're rolling to your left, you kind of toss a soft one back to the right. Now, his vision is a lot better than our vision because we're sitting up here on the 4th floor. But he saw that on the ground floor with all those bodies in front of him. So he has that Superman vision to see through the defense where the openings are going to be.
28-yard field goal attempt for Robbie Gould. Trying to go 3 for 3 on the day, and he does. He's now made 17 in a row. And it's a 16-3 advantage for the 49ers. .137 to go, 2nd quarter. Pinion kicking away to Adoree Jackson. The Titans do not have any timeouts remaining. Jackson will return this one from a yard in his own end zone, and he takes it to the 21. So we'll see if the Titans, who've only run 17 plays here in the first half, can get something going offensively compared to 43 plays by the 49ers. Robbie Gould now with 17 straight field goals made, tied for the 4th longest streak in 49ers history with Mike Kofer. The record is Phil Dawson, who made 27 in a row during the 2013 season. So no timeouts for Mariota to work with. He's only completed 4 of 7 passes for 35 yards. Throwing here, and there's Corey Davis with a catch. Slips away from one tackle and brought down at the 30-yard line. Time continues to run as Mariota tries to get everyone to the line. They do call it a 1st down, a gain of 10 for Davis. Mariota to Decker, another Tennessee 1st down to the 42. Adrian Colbert on the tackle. A gain of 13. 55 seconds to go. Mariota looking sideline. Matthews makes the catch. So 3 straight completions. Don't forget a reminder as a flag comes in that the Verizon halftime report is coming up with our guys back in New York. Scores and highlights coming up.
Roughing the passer, defense, number 58. 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
So a big penalty on Elvis Dumerville, tack on 15 more yards.
And slinging him down to the ground, you kind of know the rules. You can hit the quarterback, yes, but you've got to hit him within like 1 stride, and you can't grab him and forcibly throw him to the ground after he's thrown the ball. So Elvis Dumervil knows a lot better.
All the way down to the 29-yard line. Mariota looking for Matthews. He's got it at the 6 and out of bounds inside the 5-yard line. Well, you mentioned Tennessee needed a spark on offense. They've got one on this drive.
And when you think about the Titans, you think about how they're constructed with the two big running backs, DeMarco Murray, Derrick Henry, the two great tackles, Conklin and Lewan. You think of them as a running team. Well, they've shifted gears. They've gone from, hey, sure we can run, but we need to pass in this situation. They've done a great job at it. And actually, they could afford to run the ball right here if they wanted to.
No timeouts. Ball on the 4-yard line. Mariota 4 for 4 on this drive. Rolling out, throws it away. Good coverage by San Francisco in the end zone. It's 2nd and goal.
Good, smart move. One of the things that you have to remember when Marcus Mariota is in the shotgun, you can fake here and he can run there. So that holds a little bit of that pass rush. And Mariota, smart enough, once he got outside the tackle box, he knew he could throw the ball away and get himself to the next down.
Amazingly, Delanie Walker only has 2 red zone catches this entire season. Last year he had 8. Keep an eye on Walker here, playing against his former team. Mariota chased out by Thomas. Mariota buying time, throws, and in the back of the end zone, caught! Guess who? Delanie Walker! A touchdown against his former team, and what a drive by Mariota and the Titans. Oh, they're starting the train.
Yeah, and he's driving it. And really, this is an important drive for them, an important finish, and maybe important more so for Delanie Walker than the rest of the Tennessee Titans, because the ball go off his hands in the end zone. He had fumbled the ball. So now, as the leader of this offense, as the guy who, has been just spectacular since he came over from the San Francisco 49ers to the Tennessee Titans, important for him to get that score and kind of for them to get back in this ball game.
We met with him last week before the game against Arizona. He said it was really frustrating to play behind Vernon Davis for so long. He was the blocking tight end. He wore number 46. He wanted to get a chance to be able to be a factor in the passing game as Succop nails the extra point. Well, he's a big factor here with the Titans, and his touchdown makes it a 6-point game. Delanie Walker into the end zone for his 3rd touchdown of the season. Big penalty on that drive by Dumervil, unnecessarily throwing Mariota to the ground. So a big drive by Mariota and the Titans on offense. 29 seconds to go and 1 timeout left for the 49ers. As Succop kicks it away to Breida. Bounces at the 2. It'll be a touchback. So Delanie Walker's had an interesting return to San Francisco. Had a great chance at a touchdown in the first quarter. Could not make the play. Then on this catch, Brock Coyle forces the fumble. It led to 3 points, but Walker comes back and catches the touchdown off the throw from Mariota.
You always hear coaches talk about finish. That's exactly what they did, because there was a lot of disappointment leading up to that point in the first half for the Tennessee Titans.
49ers run it, and it looks like they'll just let this one run out the first half. They do have a timeout. They elect not to use it. And we're going to have a 6-point game at the half. San Francisco leading at the half for just the 3rd time this year. They've won the previous 2. Garoppolo 18 of 26 for 189 yards and a touchdown. 16-10 49ers lead. Halftime is next after these first half highlights from Verizon and a word from your local station.
Want to stay up to date? Hey Siri, show me football scores.
Back here in Santa Clara, the 49ers have a 16-10 halftime lead on the Titans. Back in the booth with Hall of Famer James Lofton. I'm Andrew Catalan. More of the same for Jimmy Garoppolo. The 49ers offense continues to click.
We are seeing things from him in his 5th start that you hope for. if you're a 49er fan. You want to see the success. You want to see him be able to be calm in the pocket, to be able to throw the ball in the move. So they've done all that exceptionally well. At a big lead, when you're in a game, it is a race to the finish. But the Tennessee Titans made up some ground right there in that last drive. Now just down by 6 points and getting the ball to start the second half.
Time of possession heavily in favor of the 49ers, but the Titans did find a spark, as James just mentioned, on that last drive. Mariota 9 of 13 for 99 yards and the touchdown pass to Delaney Walker. Again, big game for Tennessee in terms of the AFC playoff picture. Currently the number 5 seed in the AFC playoffs. And Adoree Jackson will take a knee. Tennessee will get the ball at the 25-yard line.
A couple things when you start the season, you had that first training camp meeting. The head coach will say, we want to win our division. That's what we want to do. And if all else fails, we want to make the playoffs. The Tennessee Titans, like we've said before, in this 3-game stretch, if they can win out, they can win the division. So they're not thinking, well, we're the number 5 seed, and even if we lose, we'll still be at the number 5 position. They're thinking about trying to win the division.
They ran just 23 plays in the first half compared to 44 for San Francisco, but a good start here with DeMarco Murray picking up 7 yards on first down. Buckner and Coyle on the tackle for the 49ers.
Just like you script plays to start the game, they went in and scripted a couple to start the second half, go straight to the line of scrimmage, no huddle. 635. We heard 638, which was a run to the left. First half.
This is a run left side as well, and a first down for Tennessee. Back to New York, an NFL Today update with JB and Phil Simms.
Andrew and James, it's the tight one we expected.
It is. Tom Brady moving in the pocket, does this very well, finds Brandon Cooks in the back of the end zone. The extra point was missed. Pittsburgh leading 17-16.
Back to Andrew.
All right, guys, good one there in Pittsburgh as expected. Mariota, dangerous pass, incomplete. 2 49ers were back there on the pass intended for Corey Davis.
And when you pump in a certain direction to try and get a corner to bite up or something, you're going to have that safety come over. Mariota, look at the graphic here. He made that big jump his second year. You looked at those numbers and said, it's really going to be promising. Things are going up. And then a downward trend this season with the 10 touchdowns and 14 interceptions.
Quote, I've been hurting our team. I have to play better. An opportunity here, down by 6.
We need to update that graphic because now he has 11 touchdowns. So, tell him at least he's doing a good job now.
In trouble here, and takes a big shot as he gets rid of it. Oh, Mariota needs a little help getting up after that hit. Marsh and Foster.
And Mariota, maybe we're being a little too fine here, is a great runner, but not always a great pocket mover. Some guys are really good at moving in the pocket and finding angles and where they can throw it. That time, great pressure by Marsh, just right up the gut and running right through Mariota, not letting him have a chance to look down the field.
It brings up 3rd down and 10. In the first half, Tennessee was 2 for 4 on 3rd downs.
Got that bunch formation with 3 receivers on that side. It's tough to deal with.
Mariota has to get rid of it, and Decker brings it in for a first down. The pressure was coming off the edge. Mariota saw it, released the football, and the Titans moved the chains.
And kind of just a flick of the wrist. You'll see this. He's throwing it almost kind of backwards. And when we talked to him a couple weeks ago, he said it's about footwork. And sometimes you have to throw it from awkward angles. That time enough arm strength to get the ball out to Decker for the first down.
Second catch today for Eric Decker. Here's Murray up the middle. He's got some room. And DeMarco Murray tripped up just shy of the 40-yard line. Adrian Colbert on the tackle, but 11 yards for Murray.
DeMarco Murray just has that great slide step. He said he got it from, you do bag drills where you shuffle through those bags, shuffle, and it's almost like he can shuffle sideways and move forward. I know that doesn't make any sense, but that's what he's able to do on the field.
Course film!
Mariota up the middle by himself, and he slides down. So far in this game, DeMarco Murray has 10 carries. Derrick Henry only has 1. And he only had 2 carries, that's Henry, in the second half last week in Arizona. So Mike Mularkey has said, let's not forget, DeMarco Murray is our lead running back. And in these last 2 games, Terry Robisky, the offensive coordinator, and Mike Mularkey have certainly handled Murray in that fashion. It's Murray again, and the 49ers were not fooled. Crashing down was Sheldon Day and Aaron Lynch to make the tackle.
And that's a carry that Derrick Henry's on the sideline going, I didn't want that one. It is so tough when you have 2 guys and you're trying to get them both on the floor of the game. But as we noted, the Titans didn't run a lot of plays in the first half. And when they got behind and they had to throw the ball, DeMarco Murray is the back that you probably want in the game a little more so when you're in a passing mode.
Another 3rd and long for Tennessee. Pressure coming, and Mariota goes down. A flag is down in the secondary. It was DeForest Buckner, former teammates at Oregon, but the Titans are clapping after the flag is down in the secondary, and this appears to be going against San Francisco. Mariota a little shaken up.
Illegal use of hands. Hands to the face. Defense. Number 36. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot.
You know, the tough thing about that, you might have gotten hands to the face, but the sack was so fast, so clean, that doesn't impact the play because you would have had the sack. You would have had the sack if it hadn't been a defensive back out there. But that hands to the face, if it's a call, you have to call it. You can't say, well, it was immaterial to the play. No, it's still hands to the face, and the officials have to make the call.
And Dante Johnson had a rough go last week against DeAndre Hopkins and the Texans. He was penalized 3 times in that game. And the penalty here gives Tennessee an automatic first down. Murray tripped up in the backfield by Eric Reed. And we met with DeMarco Murray last night, and he said, look, it's my 7th season now, and I've only been to the playoffs 1 time. He said, I'm at the point in my career when all that matters are wins. I don't care if I have more carries than Henry, which in this case he does, or if he has more than me. I just want to get back to the playoffs. The only time he's been is the 2014 season with the Cowboys.
Titans looked at the defense, changed the play. They had Derrick Henry or DeMarco Murray out in the slot, moved him into the backfield.
Mariota for Decker again, and he's got it out of bounds at the 18-yard line. 17 yards for Eric Decker.
The strength of the 49ers defense is probably in the front 7. A little inexperience in the secondary, and Eric Decker, a smart route runner, drives up the field, waits. He's nice and patient. Then he finally breaks out across the face of the defender. Nice easy throw for Marcus Mariota.
Titans in the red zone where Mariota has never turned the ball over in his career. 37 red zone touchdown passes for Mariota, 0 interceptions. Marco Murray, and he gets 2. Reuben Foster with another tackle.
One of the things that the quarterback will do in this alignment, you'll take a look at the defense and you'll read the box. That last time, only 6 players in the box, so that says run the ball. Now he's trying to do the math, add them up, how many guys are down here, and if there are too many guys here, then you have one-on-one matchups on the outside.
Dice right. It goes 670.
12th play of the drive for Tennessee. Mariota to Davis at the 15 and tackled at the 14-yard line by Dante Johnson. Corey Davis spent some extra time after practice at Arizona State this week where the Titans were, just working on routes with Marcus Mariota. And that's where Mariota said he really benefited from the week away from Nashville. Just the amount of extra time he could spend at practice. Guys weren't racing to get out of the complex, go home and see their families. They were all there together. It's where they spent the whole week together as Tennessee calls a timeout, and Mariota thought it was very beneficial to get that extra work with guys like Corey Davis. Tonight, a white supremacist whose movement committed more acts of terror in America than Islamic extremists, plus an important new investigation of the opioid crisis. Tonight on 60 Minutes.
So, Andrew, it's pretty interesting because you could talk to head coaches. They could handle that week 10 different ways, and each one of them would tell us on Saturday that they did the best thing for their team. If they had flown back to Tennessee and then flown on to Florida and practiced for a week, they said, well, that's the best thing because we wanted to, in another sunshine. So whatever you do that week is the best thing. What you want is the payout on the following Sunday.
Big play here, 3rd down and 5 after the Tennessee timeout. Mariota scrambling, chased by Dumervil, and Mariota just throws it, and it's incomplete out of the end zone. Great pursuit by Elvis Dumervil, the 12th year man out of Louisville.
And Dumervil gave him a little shove there right on the boundary, but inbounds, so no flag this time. Last time Dumervil, he just wanted another shot at Marcus Mariota.
Now at the age of 33, Dumervil told us on Friday that his teammates call him Great Unk, as in great uncle, because he's
That's what they call him to his face. They call him other things behind his back.
The veteran on that San Francisco side. 31-yard field goal attempt for Ryan Suckup. He's 1 for 1 on the day. And make him 2 for 2. So 2 good drives back-to-back for Tennessee. The touchdown and now the field goal. Titans kick a field goal, and as we were going to break, there was a little extracurricular that resulted in a penalty on Eric Reed of the 49ers. See the holder, Brett Kern, shoving Reed. A little talking going on. And it was Reed that was called for a 15-yard penalty. So the Titans will kick off from midfield, down by 3. Kick it to the 5 with Breida. Tripped up by his own man, Paulson, and down at the 15. So that penalty allowed the Titans to try to kick one high, and it works. Poor field position for the 49ers to start this drive.
And he lost exactly 15 yards from it. Jimmy G is going to have to overcome that. He's been fantastic so far in the ball game, getting the ball out of his hands quickly, finding the open receiver, and then when he's had to move in the pocket, he's had that vision down the field, the ability to see through all the big defenders, to find the open receiver and to get to some select time.
Garoppolo throwing on 1st down, and Goodwin with another catch. That's his 6th of the game. With 8:15 to go in the 3rd quarter. Now a couple of injury updates. Logan Ryan is not out there right now for the Titans. He has an ankle injury and he's questionable to return. So LaShawn Sims is in at corner. And meanwhile for the 49ers on offense, they have ruled out Aldrick Robinson with a concussion. Remember, he was injured back in the 1st quarter and has not returned and will not return for the rest of the game. 2nd down and 4. 49ers keep it on the ground. Carlos Hyde picks up the San Francisco 1st down. Cyprien on the tackle.
Boy, a lot of shifting and moving, but just a play onside and able to come back to the backside because Juszczyk, your fullback who went in a short motion, came back and cut off the backside. So you draw them up in a certain way, you hope that they work, and that time all the lines meshed in a nice pickup by the 49ers.
Cyprien showing blitz. Garoppolo gets rid of it. Goodwin again. Marquise Goodwin continues to impress with Jimmy Garoppolo at quarterback. Goodwin in his 1st year with the 49ers, 5th season out of Texas, 2-time NCAA long jump champ, competed in the London Olympics in 2012. It was really more of just a a guy that would come in and try to stretch the field in Buffalo. There was injuries to Pierre Garçon and a depleted receiving core. Goodwin's had more of an opportunity, and he certainly made the most of it here. Hyde is stacked up.
I think that Goodwin has had even more of an opportunity here with the 49ers than he even had when he was in college. So he's become the go-to guy, and it's such an important role because it builds confidence. And you've seen the last couple of weeks, he had a 99-yard game, then he had a 100-yard game, and tacking on to another big game today. So that confidence is brimming. And then the fact that Logan Ryan is out of the game, and they put Adoree Jackson on him, a matchup of speed versus speed, two former long jumpers, but Goodwin is having a good day up top.
3rd down and 4. Garoppolo out of the shotgun. Arakpo coming. Garoppolo, and it's dropped by Trent Taylor. The 49ers lead the NFL in drops this season, and that one is costly as San Francisco will send out its punter Pinion.
Costly because it's a momentum stopper. You know, you expect the defense, hey, if we make a great play, sure, but when you drop the ball after you've done everything, you've blocked it up, you've run the correct route, you've gotten open, the quarterback has delivered it, and then you drop it, it's such a deflating feeling. In that 27 drops, that's not a good category to be number one in.
First punt today by Bradley Pinion. Jackson back deep at his own 20. It's a short punt. There's a flag down. It bounces at the 28. Jackson fields it on a hop. Jackson goes down. Juszczyk in on the tackle along with Cassius Marsh, and there's an injured Titan. That's Ty Smith, the second-year man out of Towson, who's still down on the ground. And there is a flag down as well. 43-yard punt, a loss of 3 by Jackson on the return.
During the kick, holding, return team number 53. 10-yard penalty, 1st down, timeout.
It's on Darren Bates. Timeout with 5:32 to go in the 3rd quarter.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing. And by Father Figures. In theaters December 22nd.
And that's my partner, James Lofton, a 2-sport standout nearby at Stanford, over 1,200 career receiving yards. Also excelled at track and field, still owns the school's long jump record. Another Stanford guy right there, 49ers general manager John Lynch. You look good in those photos, James.
You know, I think about it, if I had shaved my head, I probably would have been able to jump further.
Hindsight's 20/20. Play fake to Henry. Mariota connects with Henry. And Henry gets to the 23. We're going to go back to New York, an NFL Today update with JP and Phil Simms.
Pittsburgh's D contributed.
Yes, they did. They got a turnover, an interception against Tom Brady. Le'Veon Bell, 3 yards for a touchdown, 19 rushes for 97 yards. James Lofton, that was a great shot of.
Hey, that hair kept him airborne.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, thanks, JB.
Steelers clinch a 1st-round bye if they go on to beat the Patriots. Henry on the ground this time, and Eric Henry is very close to the 1st down marker. Solomon Thomas, the 49ers' 3rd overall pick on the tackle.
Now, we remember in the first half, Derrick Henry's first play came in on a 3rd and 1. He got the ball, so you've got another 3rd and short. It's going to be obvious to give him the ball again.
They do. Henry to the outside. He's got the 1st down and more. Ripped up at the 35-yard line, but he moves the chains. Coyle and Williams on the stop.
I think that's the thing about Derrick Henry that people don't anticipate. You think, okay, 3rd and 1, he's just going to plug it up in the hole. But the ability to have the speed to bounce it outside at 247 pounds is what makes him such a distinctive running back and such a terror to go against your defense.
Reuben Foster, a part of that defense. Foster and Henry were teammates at Alabama. Henry out of the backfield, and look who hits him, Reuben Foster. Now that's not the first time those two have had a big collision. Foster shared a story on Friday that during one practice at Alabama, there was a lot of NFL scouts in attendance, and Henry knocked over Foster. He said that he was so embarrassed by how hard Henry had knocked him over. Nick Saban was yelling at Foster. Foster said in the next play, he drilled Derrick Henry to get him back, but a referee came over at practice and said, son, that would be a targeting call if this was an actual game. So those two have had some battles on the Alabama practice field and now one here in the NFL. As Delanie Walker goes up to bring that one in, a first down for Tennessee.
You know, when we talk to Derrick Henry about those stories and Reuben Foster, those are ones versus one. Those are good versus good. That's what we have right here. Eric Reed against Delanie Walker. That's your best versus your best. Your best coverage guy in the secondary is probably that strong safety matched up against the tight end, Delanie Walker. Delanie Walker wins that one-on-one battle.
13-yard gain for Delanie Walker. The ball's at the 48-yard line of Tennessee with 2:40 to go in the third quarter. Tennessee an 8-5 record. The number 5 seed in the AFC playoffs. Henry across midfield for a gain of 2. Tennessee trying to get this ground game going. They've got 76 yards rushing today. Last week, just 65. It's a team that's averaged 117 on the ground this year.
Sometimes the score can dictate that you get away from it now in a tighter ball game with that score at the end of the half. They can go back to their run game.
741.
Well, we got great. I need to be writing these down. I know what was coming up next time.
Here's Henry again. They've been riding Henry on this drive. And he gets to the 45-yard line, a gain of 4. Let's take a look at the updated AFC playoff picture with earlier today Jacksonville clinching a playoff berth for the first time since 2007. But even though the Jaguars rolled over the Texans, Tennessee can still win the AFC South. If they win out, they are AFC South champions. And as we showed you, the Steelers up by 8 on the Patriots in a big game in the AFC playoffs. Big down right here for the Titans, 3rd and 4. And Mariota does not like what he sees, and he calls timeout. And Tennessee only now has 1 remaining the rest of the game. 1:08 to go, third quarter. San Francisco has a 3-point lead. Tennessee, after a slow start, has gotten it going here in the second half. In fact, 26 of the last 32 plays run in this game have been run by the Titans. They only have 1 timeout remaining. It's 3rd down and 4. Crowd making some noise here at Levi's Stadium.
Reuben Foster tucked up in there right in the middle of your screen.
Mariota to Matthews. He's got it at the 30. First down and more for Tennessee. Rashard Matthews picks up 21 and a big 3rd down conversion for Mariota and the Titans.
A couple things. When you show blitz, you're normally playing zone coverage behind it when the guys bail out. Every quarterback knows that. Video game players at home, you probably know it too. When they bail out of that blitz, it's zone coverage. So all you have to do is find the holes in the zone and you have completions.
Now Rashard Matthews is down on a knee near the Titans huddle, and the officials have stopped the clock. I don't know if he's shaken up or if there's just an equipment malfunction as they work on his helmet. But play is stopped with 43 seconds remaining in the third quarter. We will step aside as well. It's a 3-point San Francisco advantage.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Cricket Wireless. Something to smile about. And by Walmart. Rock this Christmas with Walmart.
Christmas in the park in nearby San Jose. Been a beautiful weekend weather-wise. Late third quarter, the 49ers have a 3-point lead on the Titans. Rashard Matthews walked off the field, went into the blue medical tent. We'll pass along an update on Matthews as soon as we have it. First down and 10 for Mariota and the Titans. Delaney Walker goes in motion. Henry, the running back. Movement on the line. Who
Solomon
jumped
Thomas
first?
just a little early.
Offside. Defense. Number 94. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Fifth penalty today against San Francisco. Coming into the day, they had the fourth most penalties in the NFL.
You know, when you move around on that defensive line, sometimes right side to left side, and you know that you're in the pass rush spot, that now that voice inflection can get you. You bring in an extra offensive lineman going a little bit heavy, number 71.
It's Dennis Kelly.
There's right there. He's eligible.
Tennessee in the red zone. Play fake. Mariota fires to Decker. Makes the catch at the 7-yard line. Eric Decker having a nice game. First and goal for the Titans. And that takes us to the end of the third quarter. 16-13 49ers. We're back after this message and a word from your local station. Start of the fourth quarter here in Santa Clara with James Lofton. I'm Andrew Catalon, our entire NFL on CBS crew. Rashard Matthews left the field a few moments ago out of the blue tent. He's got his helmet on the sideline. That's a good sign, but he's not in there for first and goal to start the fourth quarter. Henry, the running back. Stocker is the fullback. It's Henry at the 5. And trying to push that pile forward. He's marked down at the 4-yard line.
You know, you have heavy packages, you have jumbo packages. So with Kelly in there and with Supernall in there and Stocker in there, you've got all the big physical blockers that you need. And Derrick Henry, right now you're trying to wear them out. The one play that you have is where they all step up and you pop that ball to Delaney Walker, who's attached to the end of the line.
Second and goal. Henry cannot get to the edge. Eric Reed, Solomon Thomas come up to make the tackle. A loss of 4 on the play.
Boy, great quickness off the ball by Solomon Thomas. He gets right by the block of Luke Stocker at number 88. And he's low, so you can't get underneath him. Bolts into the backfield and gets Derrick Henry before he can get going.
The ball now at the 8-yard line. Rashard Matthews back into the game. A good sign for Tennessee. Where will Mariota go here on third and goal? Mariota 5 for 5 on this drive. Steps up, throws end zone, caught! Touchdown, Rashard Matthews! His 4th touchdown of the season, and the Titans take the lead.
For the Tennessee touchdown.
It's obvious to see where Rashard Matthews caught this ball, right over where the center was. The reason I point that out is Matthews is 6 feet, 217 pounds, so he's got that big, thick frame where he's obviously not intimidated going over the middle.
Mike Mularkey feeling it on the Titans sideline as Tennessee is pulled in front. And now here's Ryan Suckup to attempt the extra point. And it's good. Mariota 6 for 6, 63 yards and a touchdown on that drive. Tennessee has scored 17 unanswered points. Mariota to Matthews has given the Titans a 4-point advantage here early in the fourth quarter. San Francisco will be getting the ball back. It'll be just their second drive of the second half. Tennessee has completely flipped the switch in terms of plays run and time of possession here after halftime. Matt Breida back deep to receive the kickoff from Suckup. It's a high kick. Comes down at the goal line. Breida will return. Breida across the 15. Let's take a look at some of the earlier headlines from Week 15 in the NFL. The Jacksonville Jaguars just roll it up on the Texans. The Jaguars clinch their first playoff berth since 2007. Also, the Eagles had a tough game against the Giants. They found a way to get it done. They clinch a bye in the first round of the NFC playoffs, and the Minnesota Vikings wrap up the NFC North with a huge win over the Cincinnati Bengals.
You know, this is that time of year where you hear about teams controlling their own destiny. How come nobody ever says that in September? We control our own destiny. All we do is win every game we play.
That's a stretch, James. That's a stretch. Garoppolo throwing on first down is a wide open Selleck. He's got it in midfield and still going. Shoved down at the 41 by Cyprien. How did Selleck get so open? A pickup of 42.
You think that everybody has a certain role, and you watch tight ends, you say, well, he's the short guy. That tight coverage where the two guys cross, and you have Kevin Byard, who has 6 interceptions. He's thinking, I'm going to pick off the ball in the flat. But you've got the deep defender, so you've got to cover your man first before you start thinking about ball hawking.
First play today for San Francisco that has gone for longer than 20 yards. First down and 10 from the Titans 41. Garoppolo looking for more through the air. Checks it down to Hyde. Hyde right at Cyprien, runs him over and out of bounds. Avery Williamson was able to shove him out. But a good start to this drive for the 49ers.
That play had all the elements of Bill Walsh 1979. Look right, then you dump the ball to one of your running backs out, Roger Craig out on the side, and he stiff arms and runs over the defender. This 49er offense has the elements with Jimmy Garoppolo there to hit all the receivers. He uses everybody on the field.
He's connected with 8 different receivers today. That's the second straight week he's connected with 8 different receivers. Hyde followed up and tackled at the 35-yard line. Paulson and Williamson having a few extra words after the play.
Well, you can see easily, we talked about the Tennessee Titans coming into this game with the 5th best run defense in the league. It's hard to run the ball against them, but you still have to sprinkle it in a little bit because your offensive linemen, they want to fire out. They want to run block. They don't want to all the time be setting back and catching those defensive ends and the linebackers as they're blitzing through the gap. So aggressive defense by LeBeau. You've got to temper it a little bit offensively.
Third down and 3. Garoppolo on the slant to Goodwin. First down and more. Cyprien the hit at the 21, but a 14-yard pickup for Marquise Goodwin.
This is a different level of Marquise Goodwin. You see the quickness at the line of scrimmage, swatting the hands away from Adoree Jackson, and then catching it in traffic. When guys are fast, I think a lot of coaches think, well, let's just give them the ball behind everybody. You're watching Goodwin, and we're watching him develop in front of our eyes. He catches the ball short, but we know we can catch it deep. But the short passes are the ones that are impressive for a guy with such great speed.
He ties his career high with 8 catches. He set that career mark 2 weeks ago in Garoppolo's first start in Chicago. Well, there's a new career high, his 9th grab. Marquise Goodwin continues to move the 49ers right down the field.
And that's a confidence throw because you're on the right hash. You're throwing a 6-yard hitch route to the left side. That ball is in the air for a long time. You have to have confidence that your wide receiver has burst off the line hard enough where he makes that defensive back up, and that defensive back isn't going to try and jump it and get the interception.
Second straight game, Marquise Goodwin has 100 yards receiving. Garoppolo 4 for 4 for 66 yards on the drive. And his pass is batted down. It comes right back to Garoppolo, and then he's taken down.
And he realized in that one instant that he couldn't throw it again.
No.
Now he has a reception now, so he's in all the stat columns. Some quarterbacks will knock that ball back down, but instinctively, he just sticks his left hand out, catches it. He's so calm in the pocket, he doesn't think that, oh, I need to panic and knock this ball down.
Now the 9th different receiver to catch a pass today for the 49ers.
Watch the blitz effect right there. Nobody moved. Nobody moved.
Third down and 11. Pressure coming, and down goes Garoppolo. Wesley Woodyard, the first to get back there. A big sack on third down.
You hear people talk about zone blitz. One of the things that the zone blitz means is that you're playing zone coverage behind it, because you can bring 5 and still occupy those 6 zones. 2 deep, 4 underneath, 3 deep, 3 underneath. Either one of those, and that zone blitz can really wreak havoc on those offensive linemen, because they're thinking, okay, this guy is the guy who's going to come, not that guy, and came scot-free that time.
5th sack of the year for Woodyard. This is Gold from 50 yards away, and Gold is good again. 4 for 4 on the day. He's made 18 in a row. It's a 1-point game.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by State Farm. Here to help life go right. Kay Jewelers. Every kiss begins with K. And by Verizon. Best gifts on the best network.
(20-19) is the Tennessee lead with 8:27 to go in the 4th quarter. Pinion kicking away. Adoree Jackson, the deep man. It'll be a touchback. And Robbie Gould continues to have one of the best seasons of his career. He's 34 out of 36. That's a career high percentage, 94%. 18 straight that he's knocked through, and now on field goals 50 or longer, he's 4 out of 4. And 4 for 4 overall on the day. So the Tennessee offense goes back to work, protecting a 1-point lead with 8:27 to go. Only 1 timeout left for the Titans. San Francisco has all 3. They start this drive on the ground with DeMarco Murray picking up 3.
Andrew, when you were in college, you're one of those guys who got 3 degrees. But everybody asks you, well, what did you major in? The Tennessee Titans major in running the football. They get a minor in throwing it. They get another degree from playing good run defense, but they major in running the football. This is their time of game, when they run the football and run it effectively.
I was lucky to get 1 degree, James, not 3.
You get those degrees later in life because you're such an accomplished person.
2nd and 7. DeMarco Murray finds some room, and a flag comes in late from behind the play. And it's going against Tennessee. And you see Garrett Selleck leaving the field into the 49ers locker room.
Number 67. 10-yard penalty, replay, 2nd down.
Selleck was shaken up on that 41-yard reception, so we'll pass along an update from the 49ers just as soon as we get one.
It's so frustrating for Mike Mularkey, for Terry Robisky. You have a good run, you get a holding call, now you end up 2nd and a bunch, and it changes your thinking.
Mariota over the middle, caught by Matthews. Tackle made at the 28-yard line by Foster, and it will be 3rd down. Well, remember last week in Arizona, Murray had a big 54-yard run that was wiped out by a holding call on Jack Conklin. And a nice run there the previous down, wiped out by the hold on Spain. 3rd and 7 with 7 minutes to go.
Elvis Dumerville, that's the big-time pass rusher for the 49ers.
Mariota likes to go to Delaney Walker on 3rd downs. Mariota looking for Walker, incompletes. Eric Reed on the coverage, and the San Francisco defense does the job.
Maybe a little cautious on this throw by Marcus Mariota, because he has him. Just stick the ball on him. Delaney Walker doesn't come out of the break very hard. He felt like he was contacted late, but he's got to avoid Eric Reed at the top of that route. He just can't run into him and expect to get the call.
Brett Kern having a Pro Bowl season punting for Tennessee. Taylor comes up on the short punt, which bounces but takes a nice Tennessee roll inside the 15-yard line. Friendly hop. It's a 60-yarder for Kern. Tight game here in Santa Clara. The Titans have a 20-19 lead on the 49ers. And good news for San Francisco is Selleck has returned to the sideline. No word yet if he's been cleared to go back in, but at least he's come out of the locker room. We'll see if he's able to join his teammates on the field. First down and 10 with 6:28 to go. Play fake. Garoppolo to Bourne with room to run. Bourne, he's got speed at midfield. Bourne is finally dragged down at the 33. Huge play. Garoppolo to Bourne for 54 yards.
You talk about Bourne speed, but the speed that started this play was on the other side. Goodwin running through the post, occupying two defenders, and then almost trying to get back to get another block. But Bourne, he can step on the Jets too. So you've got two guys who can burn it down the field. Goodwin taking the top off, like you always hear people talk about, and Bourne coming across, making the play underneath.
Longest catch of Bourne's career. Garoppolo over 300 yards passing for the second straight game. Going back to the air on first down and connects with Kittle. Kittle down the sideline and knocked out of bounds inside the 15. LaShawn Sims on the head, but Kittle picks up 18 yards.
Andrew, think about the statement that the 49ers just made with the last two plays. You're backed up. You need to run the ball to bleed time off the clock and kind of get... No, we're going to put it in Jimmy Garoppolo's hands. Let him throw the ball deep. Let him throw it on another outlet. Jimmy Garoppolo has made all the difference in the way that this team thinks about itself, in the way that they think what they can do in a ball game.
334 yards passing for Garoppolo. That ties his career high, which he set last week in the win over Houston. Going back to the air to Kittle again at the 12, cuts back, and a tackle by Brown at the 10, but a flag comes in as well.
I think you might have gotten a block in the back by Breida trying to make a block. You never block behind yourself. You always block up the field, because when you block behind yourself, you're chasing people.
Illegal block in the back. Offense number 22. 10-yard penalty replay, first down.
He knew it the minute that he touched him in the back. It's like that little kid you say, you know, don't touch the pot. It's hot. It's hot. As soon as he put his hands on his back, he kind of pulled the hands back. He said, oh, that was hot. I don't think that was a good idea.
Yeah, backs up the 49ers with 4:50 to go in the fourth quarter. San Francisco looking for its first three-game win streak since November of 2014. Jimmy's parents, Denise and Tony, watching on. 1st and 18 with Hyde at the top of your screen. Here comes the blitz. Garoppolo looking end zone for Goodwin, and it's incomplete. Nearly intercepted by Adoree Jackson. Jackson had a golden opportunity for his first interception of the year, but could not come down with the football.
You've got to be able to hold your spot on the field. Goodwin gets forced to the boundary. You see Adoree Jackson is in better position to make the play. So as he's running down, there he's in good position there, but he's going this way toward the boundary as opposed to squeezing the field and letting that ball go drift to his outside shoulder.
2nd and 18, pressure coming again. Garoppolo in trouble, ducks away from Cyprien and is able to scramble to the 21-yard line. Cyprien had a free run at Garoppolo, who was able to duck out of the way and avoid the sack.
And he gains about a half a yard there, and really it's about a 10-yard difference now, because that then would be a huge third down you'd have to pick up, put you further back in chances of making your field goal. So Garoppolo, great job just in the pocket there, and then not trying to do too much after he escaped a sack by Cyprien.
3rd down and 17. San Francisco 7 for 12 on 3rd downs today.
There's Goodwin at the bottom again.
Quick pass to Taylor with blockers in front. There's a flag down. Taylor at the 10, cuts back at the 5, and he's with the ball coming out in the end zone. San Francisco says they have it. Remember, there is a penalty down.
Goodwin's blocking at the point of attack. I don't think he held, but when you're out on the boundary like that, sometimes if your arms go away and
Lakin Tomlinson comes away with the football from the bottom of that pile in the end zone.
Pass interference, offense, number 11. 10-yard penalty, third down.
He has a yard past the line of scrimmage to be a blocker. So let's see if we can get a high shot to see if he blocks more than 1 yard down the field. He's right there at the line of scrimmage. So I think he's about a yard and a third past the line of scrimmage. I've seen worse, and that's right from the technical standpoint. If he punches and then he just shadows him, and then when the ball's caught, if he gets an audible go, go, go from Taylor, that'd be a clean play.
The fans here at Levi Stadium see the replay and now booing, not happy with that call. And San Francisco.
Kyle Shanahan giving the official there a earful about.
Shanahan also called timeout before this third and long play. Next Sunday, it's all about playoff spots. The Bills battle the Patriots, the Chargers clash with the Jets, and the Jaguars are here in Santa Clara to take on the 49ers. Check your local listings, and for the complete playoff picture, tune into JB, Phil, Coach Nate, and Boomer on the NFL Today at 12 Eastern on CBS. Let's take another look at that last play with Goodwin called for offensive pass interference.
See, I think if the ball was on the 21-yard line, he ends up blocking at the 19.6 yard line. So just barely down the field. And the other thing he could have done, if Adoree Jackson has him in man-to-man coverage, he can run him off right there. So as a receiver, you've got to read that, or he can use an outside rip move to get him to go down the field with him.
3rd and 28. They hand it off, just try to get a better field goal range for Robbie Gould as Carlos Hyde takes it to the 30. So Robbie Gould, who has made 18 consecutive field goals and is 4 for 4 today, has a chance to put San Francisco back in the lead.
But this is a drive that you were able to get all the way down to the 15-yard line. Now the line of scrimmage is the 30-yard line because of penalties.
He was 5 for 5 2 weeks ago in the win over Chicago. This one from 48 yards away. Gould on the way and good again. Robbie Gould 5 for 5 today, and San Francisco takes a 2-point lead. He's now made 19 in a row, the longest active streak. And he's 35 out of 37 on the season.
You know, I talked to Robbie Gould before the game, and he said, you know, sometimes a change of scenery makes you go to all your fundamentals, and I just had to be a better kicker after I left Chicago.
He's only missed 2 field goals since the Bears let him go September of 2016. And now the focus shifts back to Marcus Mariota and the Titans offense. And we chronicled it. They only have 1 timeout left and the 2-minute warning. They had to use a couple of timeouts in situations they wish they had him for here down the stretch. 3:08 to go. And before the kickoff, the officials blow the play dead.
Where Tennessee would be more impacted.
Ball was kicked prior to all the officials being in position. We'll re-kick.
As I was going to say, where Tennessee would be more impacted is if they have a 3-and-out and they give the ball back to the 49ers. They wouldn't have the timeouts to be able to stop the clock to then get one more chance to get it. But with 3 minutes and 8 seconds to play, if they do what they need to do offensively in this drive, they can certainly get down with plenty of time in field goal range. But to have that second possession, if they fail this possession, and then San Francisco gets the ball, then those timeouts were really something that they would need at this point of the game.
So Pinion to kick it away again. Jackson will take a knee. And we'll go back to New York. An NFL Today update with JB and Phil Simms.
Gronk big on this drive.
Oh, Dion Lewis, 8 yards for the touchdown there. Gronk, 3 catches on the drive for 69 yards, 9 for 168 for the game. He also caught the two-point conversion. New England up 27-24 on Pittsburgh.
Back to Andrew Catalon.
So the Patriots move a step closer to clinching the AFC East. If they go on to beat the Steelers, the division title is theirs once again. 3:08 to go here in Santa Clara. Fans on their feet making some noise for the 49ers defense. Mariota to Davis, and shoved out of bounds by Witherspoon, but not before Corey Davis picks up a Tennessee first down.
When you have Jake Conklin at one tackle, Taylor Lewan at the other tackle, you feel pretty confident in your edge games, that you're not going to get impacted by those edge rushers. And when you can do that, and you can stand and deliver the ball on time, anything under 15 yards down the field, you've got plenty of time to throw the football.
Mariota incomplete.
I think that one might have been tipped a little bit. You got Buckner in the middle of that defensive line at 6'7". You got to throw the ball over that big fella.
Ryan Suckup hoping to get a chance. He's 2 for 2 today.
For the season, he is 1 out of 4 beyond 50 yards, so they've got to inch this thing close for him to get in his desired range.
Including the 58-yarder last week that hit the crossbar in Arizona and did not go in.
Pressure.
Mariota taking a deep shot for Davis, incomplete. Davis had a step but could not connect with Mariota, and it's third down.
And Davis ran a stop and go route, and when he went to take off, it just took him a little time to get going. Mariota throws this ball. You see how that ball's going toward his outside shoulder? Davis had left enough room. Mariota knows that he had him for a big one, and they missed it there.
Is this 4-down territory, James?
Boy, oh boy, they've got 2:54 on the clock. Let's say it's incomplete, and you go down to 2:48. I still might punt the ball away.
3rd and 10. Play clock at 3. Here they come. Mariota gets rid of it to Decker, and he's got it right near the chains. And we'll have to see with this spot if it's enough for a first down. Officials indicating it's 4th down. There's an injured 49er.
Reuben Foster's down.
Reuben Foster. He was shaken up in the first half as well. The officials have indicated it's 4th and inches for Tennessee.
Time in the pocket, which he had. But there you see Foster coming in and just making a big hit on Decker, and Decker holding on to it. Yellow line. Which side of the yellow line is the ball on? It's on the short side of the yellow line, so a nice call by the officiating crew.
The concern now for Foster, the rookie out of Alabama.
Remember in the first half, he went out, he had a little stinger to his shoulder, went in the tent for a little while, came back out, was able to resume play. And once you get those stingers or burners, you know, you can get them from time to time.
We met with Elvis Dumerville on Friday, and we asked him about Foster, and he said, this kid is something special. He does things that you can't coach. And everyone very excited about the future of Reuben Foster as we take another look coming from the left of your screen.
You can see his head get shifted a little bit, and I had mentioned those stingers and burners that you can get in your arms where you get that numbness. It shoots all the way down your arm.
Meanwhile, Garoppolo checking out the pictures if he has to go back out there, how they want to attack this Tennessee defense. Foster up on his feet and receives a big hand from the 49ers faithful. Meanwhile, it's 4th down for Tennessee. This season, the Titans are 3 for 7 on 4th downs. They were 0 for 2 last week.
And they're going to bring the sticks out and measure this.
Foster going into the blue medical tent. You can see the Titans are just short.
So you got two great running backs, DeMarco Murray, Derrick Henry, but when they line up in that deep I back, they're 7.5 yards from the line of scrimmage. Quarterback puts his hands under the center, and he's right there about a yard away. All he has to do is stick that ball out, pull it back, you've got the first down. Tom Brady is excellent at that. When I was coaching in San Diego with the San Diego Chargers, Doug Flutie was a master at running the quarterback sneak. He ran one quarterback sneak and gained 11 yards once. It was so small no one could find him.
Keep this in mind, Mariota has the most touches in the NFL this season without a fumble. First 2 years he had 19 fumbles, 0 this season. Will he just keep this and try to push it forward?
I talked about that running back. Heels 7.5 yards deep. That's a long ways away from the first down marker.
4th and 1. Mariota himself falls forward and appears to have the first down. Clock will continue to run though. 2:25 to go.
So now you've got to shuffle personnel. You have to bring the pass catchers back in. The pass rushers come back on for San Francisco. And a big hole for Marcus Mariota to squeeze through and get that first down.
Trying to get a play off before the 2-minute warning. 2:08 to go. He hands it off to DeMarco Murray up the middle, hit at midfield. Murray still going to the 48-yard line, and that takes us to the 2-minute warning. Tennessee down by 2 on the move here in the 4th.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Garmin. Get a Garmin smartwatch and beat yesterday. And by Hanes with Fresh IQ Advanced Odor Protection Technology.
$1:59 to go here in Santa Clara, and the 49ers have a 2-point lead on the Titans. Tennessee 8-5, currently the 5th seed in the AFC playoffs, trying to rally for a win here on the road. It's 2nd down and 7. The Titans only have 1 timeout remaining. Mariota, quick pass, complete to Delanie Walker, and Walker sheds a tackle from Foster and out of bounds with a Tennessee first down. Gain of 8 for Delanie Walker, the former 49er.
You know, I think every player on the Tennessee Titan sideline is going, okay, what yard line do we need for this field goal? How close do we need to get? But the guys in the huddle are thinking touchdown. The guys on the sideline are thinking field goal, and how close? Maybe 30. 25-yard line would be even better. 20-yard line would be even better. So the closer you can get, obviously the easier it is for your field goal kicker.
Hand off to Murray. And Murray hit at the 40 and falls forward for a yard. Reuben Foster with the hit. And it's 2nd down, and now San Francisco has to think about how they want to use their final 2 timeouts.
And you normally use it after 2nd down to see what's going to happen with the rest of that series, because if you can get them in the 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, then you think you can stop them on 3rd down.
Mariota looking to go to the air. Fires right, complete to Walker again, and Delanie Walker down the sideline.
Delanie Walker should have stayed in bounds right there. I mean, you stopped the clock for the Titans, but you also stopped the clock for the 49ers.
We'd like to welcome those of you who saw the Patriots defeat the Steelers, New England, the AFC East champions. We've got a tight one out here in Santa Clara with the Tennessee Titans, who are 8-5 and currently the 5 seed in the AFC playoffs, down by 2 but driving against Jimmy Garoppolo and the 49ers.
And the 49ers sideline is furious because for about 4 or 5 seconds, the Titans had 12 men in the huddle. You can see the confusion that was going on the Titans sideline. They had 13 and a couple of guys backed out, 1 left, and they still had 12 for about 4 or 5 seconds.
And Tennessee has to call its final timeout with 1:20 to go before this big 3rd down and 2 play. Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers looking for their first 3-game win streak since November of 2014. As we take a look at the updated AFC playoff picture, New England now division champions, tied with the Steelers, 11-3 records. Jacksonville clinched a playoff berth earlier today. However, Tennessee can still win the division if they win out. Even though the Jaguars are 2 games ahead, back in week 2, Tennessee beat Jacksonville, so they have the tiebreaker, and those 2 teams will play each other week 17 in Nashville. Out of the timeout, 3rd and 2. DeMarco Murray hit at the line of scrimmage and thrown for a loss. Big play by the 49ers defense. And Kyle Shanahan has called timeout, so San Francisco has 1 left.
Remember how we talked about at their core, what do they major in? They major in running the football, and at that time they were stuffed in their major. Great job, interior line from the San Francisco 49ers. They got off faster. The crowd here, all the sections are filled. It might not be sold out, but there was enough noise in the crowd where Tennessee's reacting to the ball moving, and the San Francisco 49ers are being able to get off quickly on the snap because of the crowd noise.
This will be a 50-yard field goal attempt for Ryan Succop. This season, he's just 1 out of 4 from 50 or longer. And for his career, just a 51% kicker from 50 yards or more.
Look at that weighted push on that side.
To give Tennessee a 1-point lead. Succop, kick on the way, right down the middle. Does he have the distance? He does! A big kick for Ryan Succop. And with 1:07 to go, the Titans have taken a 1-point lead.
Solid kick, not a lot of height, but he drove that ball, and he's going to the end of the stadium where there's a little less wind on that end of the stadium.
Succop's 3rd field goal of the game. Marcus Mariota, who's really been struggling over the last month of the season, likes what he sees there. Today, Mariota 23 of 33 for 241 yards and 2 touchdowns. Tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes and an important new investigation of the opioid crisis, followed by new episodes of Wisdom of the Crowd, NCIS Los Angeles, and Madam Secretary tonight, only CBS. So 1 timeout left for San Francisco. Jimmy Garoppolo has looked great again today for the 49ers, a new career high, 336 yards passing. It'll be a touchback, so Garoppolo and the Niners get the ball at the 25-yard line. And keep this in mind, Robbie Gould has been unbelievable for San Francisco this season. He's 5 out of 5 today. And from 50 yards or longer this year, Gould is 4 out of 4. So the Niners need about 35 yards to get in range for Robbie Gould. Garoppolo 28 for 38, 336 and a touchdown. Garoppolo pressure coming, gets rid of it, completes it to Taylor at the 32-yard line. San Francisco will hurry up to the line, try to preserve that 1 timeout.
And little things, the receivers, you give the ball back to the official, it's as quickly as possible.
Garoppolo over the middle, wide open. It's Kittle, the tight end, all the way to the 45. A gain of 23.
Just 2 deep coverage, no linebacker in the middle, and it's that zone blitz where you're bringing 5, you got holes in your secondary.
Another quick pass, Marquise Goodwin has it. And San Francisco already in field goal range.
Spike the ball right here.
20 seconds to go. And Garoppolo spikes it, stopping the clock with 16 seconds remaining. Garoppolo is now thrown for 381 yards, a new career high.
Second down, you can throw the ball over the middle. Everybody has to hustle up and get over the ball so that you can spike it again. Then you'd be ready to kick the ball after that.
Jeff Garcia in 2000, the last 49ers quarterback to throw for 300 yards in back-to-back games. From here, it would be about a 48-yard field goal for Gould.
Good win on Jackson at the top.
Garoppolo taking a shot for Goodwin down the field and incomplete. Clock stopped with 12 seconds to go. Now, do you attempt the field goal on third down in case there's a bad snap? Or do you try to run another play to get some more yards for Robbie Gould?
See, I'm a real positive guy. And those three guys who work on that exchange, the center, the long snapper, and the holder, they're so good at what they do. I don't worry about them, having a hiccup.
Carlos Hyde next to Garoppolo. He takes the handoff. They run it left side. You figure that's where Gould wants it, that hash. Kyle Shanahan calls timeout with 2 seconds to go. And here comes Robbie Gould to try to send the 49ers to their third straight victory. And it would be a big loss for the Titans in the AFC playoff race.
And the Titans will look at that pass to the tight end over the middle and they go, where was our defense on that? Because that was the big chunk play that they gave up.
Gould has already tied his career high with 5 field goals. This would be his 6th and a new career high.
It'll be his second time that he's had 5+ in the last month. 2 weeks ago in Chicago, 5 for 5 when he scored all 15 of the 49ers points with his right foot.
Mariota Malarkey watching as Robbie Gould has a chance to win the game for San Francisco. A 45-yard field goal attempt. Kick on the way, down the middle, and Gould is good at the buzzer! John Lynch and the 49ers keep it rolling. Their third straight win. The Chicago Bears cut Robbie Gould September of last year. Since then, he's only missed 2 field goals. And his 6th today gives the 49ers a dramatic win over the Tennessee Titans. Kyle Shanahan, the fist pump. It's just amazing how this team has turned things around since acquiring Jimmy Garoppolo in a trade with the Patriots. Meanwhile, Bills fans, Ravens fans, all the teams in that AFC playoff mix, they're happy to see Mariota and the Titans drop another. A rough road trip as Tennessee falls to 8-6. Now 3 teams at 8-6 in the AFC playoff picture. But keep this in mind. Tennessee wins its final 2 games. They still are division champions. Final score, San Francisco 25, Tennessee 23. For James Lofton, this is Andrew Catalan saying so long from Santa Clara. Tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes, followed by Wisdom of the Crowd, NCIS Los Angeles, and Madam Secretary. You have been watching the NFL on CBS.